Me after the show.
Here we are.
Yes. We just came on and Mr. Parr is thanking us.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So how am I good? I'm moving, right?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Well, what's up, Tass?
Things seem to be clear.
Good.
Not much. What's up with you? Was it your daughter's birthday yesterday?
No.
Oh. Just out for ice cream?
You know how we do here in O-Town?
Right.
That was Jeremiah's.
Jeremiah's. Was it ice cream, yogurt? What was it?
Remember, it's the cherry gelati that you had once with the vanilla ice cream. Cherry, whatever you call it.
Yep.
Good stuff. And I was making her laugh and didn't realize Di was taking some pictures of that. And I thought it was just so cute. She's just so funny.
That's awesome.
So how's things in Wisconsin, everybody? Welcome. Please
everybody.
Good morning on the West Coast.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Look, for people that are watching this today, this show could potentially change your business life forever. With no risk to you guys, no risk to you guys, but we're going to talk about it. I've said it before, there's an ad going out there. You got to understand that, Tass, that Chris Rodriguez, who does marketing, will just say, I need a video. We do a video and move on and forget about it. And the next thing you know, it's popping up in the feed.
Right.
That's out there that we'll talk about here. So good morning, Miss Frazier, Mr. Manilli, Miss Ramos, Angelari, Mr. Rosenthal. Hello. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you guys.
I hope everybody's doing great. And I hope everyone's excited and getting ready for a little recession. Hopefully it won't happen. But we got to prepare for that it might. If you prepare, then it doesn't matter if it does or doesn't, right? But here's a tidbit, Tass. Got a text message and was asked, hey, with interest rates going up, gas prices the way they are, possibility of going into a recession and this, that, and the other, we were planning on raising rates. Should we hold off on that? My response was, our rates go up July 1st. We're not holding off on that. Now, what's your thought on that? And we'll just banter before we dive in, as we're still waiting for another 150 people to jump on. So while we're waiting.
Well, because we had this conversation, I think, a week ago, it's important that people don't understand and just take a snippet of what we said, right? So, just raising prices in general, right? There's a lot of factors that go into that, which I obviously assume you had conversations with them. So, the thing is that, it depends. It depends on where you're at. If you're a brand new school, you could have you could be undercharging right now. You may be at the right price. If you're more of a mature school and you've been around for a while and you've got a lot of people on, the current rate, if you will, and you guys are pretty competitive as far as market price is concerned, or what the industry would consider competitive, and you're enrolling 80% or more of your people into a program, and you don't think that percentage is going to go down, I think there's definitely a case for raising rates. So, it's funny because it always comes back to, I think a lot of it comes back to numbers, right? And keeping good stats. So, if you're not enrolling 80% or more of your people on your current rate, it's not necessarily a pricing problem. So don't go lower your rates. I want to be clear about that, but it's probably a presentation challenge that you're having. And let's get that cleaned up first. And then when that's cleaned up and we see our enrollment rate is great, then yeah, everything else goes up, right? And it's just a matter of that. Well, how big of a jump do you take? How do you actually do it? How do you implement it? All those things. So, just be careful of, hey, we saw the Metzger Tassoul Show, raise your rates, so I'm going to go raise my rates. And then there's a right way and a wrong way to do that, just to be mindful.
There's definitely a right way and a wrong way and a better way for sure.
Right.
But listen up, everyone. If people are going to start pinching pennies, and if there's a recession, right? And if the wallets are getting a little tighter because of gas and prices, we're raising our rates $10 come July 1st. Why are we doing it? First of all, it was a plan from last December, by the way. So it wasn't like we just decided to do it. But why are we not changing course? Because number one, people that can afford, in our case, $159 a month as an average price point, that want to do martial arts, that $10 is not going to stop them all of a sudden. That $10 won't stop someone who's already coming, who is budgeted, who wants to get involved or get their child involved in martial arts. Number one. Number two, if a recession is coming, the people that do want to do martial arts, if you have 100 students and they're all paying you at $10 more a month, that's an extra $1,000 a month for you as a small business owner, where your costs have gone up as well. Uniforms have gone up, sparring gear has gone up, t-shirts, everything has gone up. So that's why we're not backtracking. I mean, I'm not saying that's why we're raising rates. As I said, this was a plan from, actually it was last October. You know, Tass, if you remember when I talked and the team wasn't comfortable making a $20 jump, we haven't raised rates in, I don't know how long. And I thought it would be fine if we went up $20.
Excuse me.
As an average price point. The team was a little nervous, so we did a $10 bump. They saw no difference in stats, in enrollments, in objections, no difference. So from October until now, I had asked the directors a month and a half, 2 months ago or whatever, is it time to raise that other $10? And they said,
you guys are going to be at $69 a month now?
We will be at $79.
$79.
Right. 79 even.
All right.
Yep.
We're getting there.
No, don't confuse the industry here. So anyway, just for the heck of it, does anybody just want to put in what your average monthly cost is at your school? Does anybody want to share that? And you don't have to. And I just ask just to see if that's the question that will get people to engage. I don't know if they will though, Tess. We're raising from 159 to 169 as an average. All right. So thank you, Mr. Henderson, 149. So here's the thing. There's been a few people, everybody, where we actually have had people lower their rates. And what people, we don't have time to get into, Tess, but when you start working with a school and you get them to lower their rates, how do you actually make them more revenue when you go in and lower everyone's rate? Well, I don't know how you're going to even explain that, but does their overall revenue go up when you lower every one of their rates?
If you remember right, I was one of those guys when I came on board. I was at 169 a month 12 years ago, and we went down to 139. We decreased our rates by $30 a month. And we added an additional $100,000 to our revenue that year. So actually it was $120,000 to be exact. So yeah, there's systems for that. There's reasons why we did it then, and done the right way. We can do that. I also want to just caution people that you can't do for one what you'll do for what you can't for everybody, right? So if I've seen this happen, inflation's going up, gas prices are high, we're going to drop our rates, but then they keep all of their existing people at the higher rate. That's not fair for your existing people either. So again, there's ways and processes to do all of this stuff. It can seem overwhelming. It's not really when you understand it, but without knowing the individual and their school and the background and what kind of programs they have and where they're at. I mean, that's why we do the worst possible method of consulting that there is.
That was going to be my transition.
Right?
Like this, Taff, if you had a guess, How many people have you consulted in some form or fashion?
42, 38.
Silence leads to people dropping off and turning the channel.
It's a long dramatic pause. I learned this. You have to have a long dramatic pause instead of spilling face with ahs and ums and all those things.
Right. You just lost 2 viewers.
On a one-on-one basis, consulting on an ongoing. Now, I've talked to a lot more people just with 20-minute consults and one-offs and whatever, but I'll bet you it's close to 300.
Okay, 300. Out of 300 schools that you've consulted one-on-one, how many of those people did you lower their prices?
Maybe 2.
Okay. Listen up, everyone. We can end this show in about 5 minutes. But here's the deal. The title of the show is We Run MAIA Elite. I don't know what the title is. Something about the worst possible way you can run a consulting company.
Worst business method or whatever it is. Yeah.
Something like that. Meaning there are other people in our organization, let's just say, several that said, well, Century, as you all know, is the parent company of MAIA. And there's people that said, look, we got to scale MAIA. We got to let's get hundreds and hundreds of schools. And we do have, I don't know how many. I don't even know what the total number is, but how do you get it to 1,000 schools in there? How do we consult? You have to think about doing a group consulting, just like pretty much everybody has the group consulting, right? So January 1st of this year, we actually we were going to try to, well, it was talked about months and months and months about doing group consulting where we would just talk like this. We're going to talk to 28 people that are watching this, and we're going to talk about raising rates, right? But Tass had said 300 schools. Well, 2 of those people, he had to lower their rates. And then he said there's other people where, Tass, if you were just going to get on a call with a school and you want to bump this school you're working with by $10, is that a 30-minute call to tell them how to bump their rate $10?
No. I mean, it's a 3-second statement, but it's uncovering a lot of other stuff over the next, hour to try and figure out where they're at and then how to do it so we're not upsetting people.
And just so everybody knows, my job with MAIA is to scale and grow MAIA. So it was like, hey, go to group consulting. And we were almost ready to do it. And I literally called a meeting, if you remember.
At the 11th hour. Yeah.
At the 11th hour.
Yeah.
And I said, we're not doing group consulting because my first priority is to do what's best for the school owners. My second priority is to grow MAIA. I said, but I was hired to grow schools and make sure that we do the absolute best way we can help a school owner grow their school. And group consulting is not the way it is. There's people that will argue with that, and that's fine. We'll invite you on the show and we'll argue with that. One-on-one consulting will always be better than group consulting. I don't care if you have little segments where people can, by the way, we set it up to where you can, anyone that has questions, we'll set up little office hours, we called it, where for an hour on Tuesday, an hour on Wednesday, an hour on Thursday, you can come in and ask questions. And I said, people don't pay us just for the information on how to grow their school. They pay us to hold them accountable because by nature, people are reactive. When I start telling you that if you have questions, you can come on at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday, let's say, in our industry anyway, in our industry, maybe different in others, but in our industry, I've been in the industry a long time, 30 years, people won't come on. They'll forget, something will come up, and then you don't get your question. I said, we're not going to do that. We're doing one-on-one. We're going to do one-on-one consulting. We are going to tell our client, hey, what's the best time to call you? We are going to ring that phone every other Tuesday at 3 o'clock, if that's the time you're there. And we're going to call you on that time. And you got to be there. And the first thing we're going to say is, let's review. And did you get this stuff done? We're going to hold you accountable because that is the best way. Number one. Number two, Some people get overwhelmed. So we've learned this. So what we'll do is we'll set up a call. We will give a school owner 2 or 3 things. I want you to get these 2 or 3 things done. Get it done. And when you get these 2 or 3 things done, you text me, we're going to jump on another call. Then I'm going to give you 2 or 3 things that we got to get done. But it's also about knowing that specific challenge for that school owner. For example, the 2 schools that you've had and maybe 5 schools that I've worked with in the past, and you reminded me you were one of them, where we had to lower your rate. So where I'm talking to maybe 90% of the schools saying, hey, this is a good time to raise rates. Here's how you're going to do it. Here's what you're going to do with your existing people. Here's what you're going to do with people coming in. Here's how you're going to have a call to action. There's 10% of people where I said, hey, you're charging too much. And by the way, maybe everybody argues with me and says, no, we're not. And I tell people, look, if you trust me, and let me break down the reasons why and how this is going to work, but I'm going to take every student in your school, every one of them, and we're going to lower their rate. So right off the bat, you're going to lose $2,000 a month. You have 200 students, we're going to lower it $10. A lot of times it's not $10, it may be $30 like you, right? And I'll tell people you're going to lose $3,000 a month coming right out of the gate if you're going to work with me. But let me explain how we're going to bring it back and how we're going to do it. And then we do, and like you, Tass, in 6 months, you did 100,000 more. And the next year you did what, 240,000 more?
Yeah.
All right. See you, Sil. So, all right. But there's a way to do that. And not everybody here is going to need to lower rates. And by the way, depending on where you are in this country, you may be okay charging a little bit more than somebody else in another part of the country. But at the end of the day, I want to get your gross revenue and your profitability to the highest point it can be. And we have, we need to get Mr. Blackman on here as a guest, but take a look at the demographics in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's not very strong. It's one of the worst areas in the country as far as demographics, household incomes, all that stuff, poverty levels. He's over 6 figures, average, over 6 figures every single month. But I don't know if I'm going to have him charge as much as somebody in the heart of San Francisco, let's say, right? Where there's a real high level of income, but we still got to maximize that. So here's the point, everybody. You've heard us, we've been on doing this show for 5 years. If anybody is interested in trying MAIA Elite, and this is something we're going to do for the Super Show. By the way, we've never done this. But I asked if we can do it. I got the team behind it. I'll offer a money-back guarantee. Try it for 90 days. If in 90 days we can't generate enough revenue for you to pay for your program for a year, we'll give you 100% of the money back in 90 days. If you do stay on, then you stay on, and you're not going to get money back, obviously. You're going to decide to stay on. But all we need is 90 days. But here's the catch. Here's the catch with that. Because, of course,
always a catch.
Of course, there's a catch. The catch is you got to answer your phone, and you got to be on the call when we call. By the way, you set up the time you want to be called. But you got to answer the phone or the Zoom or whatever we do, whatever you prefer. And you got to execute the plan. You got to execute the plan. Now, if you're like, well, I'm not going to execute the plan, we're going to find that out before you even sign up.
Right.
Because you can either contact us and we'll talk to you. We'll find out where you're at, and we'll tell you exactly how we're going to do it. And if you're willing to try, I guarantee you, I don't care if you're doing 150,000 a month right now. I don't care. We'll do more. I don't care if you're doing 1,000 a month. You're going to do more than you've ever done. And all you need is 90 days. We come on here and we talk about how we can really help. I also talk about all the other elite or all the other consultants in the industry and how I believe they really want to help you as a school owner. And I believe the majority of them can and do and will. So this isn't a knock. All I can tell you about is what we do. I personally have never been part of another consulting group. I don't know what they all do. I know there are a lot of good people, though. I know that. I can only tell you what MAIA can do, will do. And we've been around for 20 years, longer than that. If you guys remember getting your kits in the mail with a VHS tape with a couple ad slicks, if you want to count that as MAIA. Some of you have done that, and you think that's what MAIA is. MAIA is different today. It's evolved just like everything else has. But at the end of the day, if you're serious about growing your school and you're tired of struggling, or you're tired of being stagnant, or you're tired of just doing good, right? And that, Tass, you know this. Somebody who is doing $10,000 a month or less, easy.
Right.
Someone who's doing $50,000 a month, hard. Because when you're doing $50,000 a month, you have more to lose in your mind. You're scared. You're scared that you're going to lose what you have. So it's harder for you to make some shifts in your thinking and in the presentation. We don't come in here and tell you, you got to start teaching this way, or you got to do this and you got to do that. We don't do that. When it's one-on-one consulting, we find out, what are your goals? Tell me where you'd like to be. Great. What's your plan to get there? I want to hear it from you first. What is your plan, right? You're going to give us a plan, and then I'm going to tell you, well, here's what our plan is. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to talk about which really do you think sounds more likely to get you there. We know it's our plan. We know from experience. I mean, Taz by himself has worked with roughly 300 schools one-on-one. I couldn't tell you how many one-on-one schools I've worked with. I just couldn't tell you. It's a lot in every part of the world. So if you're interested, let us know. Get in touch.
Mr. Halama just gave a spoiler alert. No one is going to get their money back if they listen and do what you say. Yep. What was it? I can't see the rest.
That money that I pay for MAIA, and I make so much more that I don't. Listen, guys, thank you, Mr. Halama. But listen, of course you're not. Of course you're not, because we just know. We know what we can do. The only thing I don't know, okay, thank you very much. The only thing I don't know is if you're actually going to execute the plan. That I don't know, right? But we know that if you do, I said this once before. I remember, this is years ago. This is before you were even a consultant, Tess. I was in Oklahoma City, and I said, hey, can we offer MAIA for free? But I'll tell the school owner, what's your average gross? What have you been doing? Okay, going to help you for free.
I think I know where you're going with this.
MAIA gets 10% of anything over that number. So it doesn't cost you anything. So if we generate you an extra $1,000 a month on average, MAIA gets $100, right? Back then, they didn't like that idea, right? Because we got to rely on the schools to keep their numbers, this, that, and the other. But do you know how much revenue MAIA would be doing? And by the way, other companies out there, I'm sure too, right? But this is the best I can do if somebody's serious. But it's interesting on this show, Tass, and this is if you guys want to help the industry, it's all of these comments, right, are most of the people that are in MAIA.
Right.
And we got to somehow get the industry to not be so afraid and to try the system, out. I don't know what more I can do than a 100% money back guarantee. I don't know what else we could do on that. If you have suggestions, put it in there and I'll let you know. But what's your thoughts there, Tass? Tass, by the way, you were one of these people. I never asked you this though. Were you skeptical? What took so long for you to say, okay, sign me up for MAIA when you were at the Super Show? And was it skeptical or what was it? Or was it just the money?
No, Silverman scared me.
Yeah, I could see that.
No, man. If you remember, first of all, I had done a lot of other consulting with other consultants. I was a client of a lot of other consulting companies. Let me say it that way. And there was some success, right? And it was this roller coaster, and it was up and it was down. And I was not in a good place. I had tried a lot of things before, and number one, wasn't certain what would be different about MAIA. And number two, I was in a place where, I had a ton of IRS debt. My accounts were being levied. Money was being taken out of my accounts. I was in foreclosure. I was, had just gotten out of bankruptcy. I mean, there was a lot of things. So, you said the pain of, someone at 50,000 a month as an example of not going backwards. Well, even at 20,000 a month, I didn't want to go backwards. I wanted to grow because I was so scared of what it was like when I was going through foreclosure and going through bankruptcy, and I didn't want to go backwards. But I also knew, it was going to be tough for me to move forward. And so, when you hear $1,000 a month, that's a lot of money, and it doesn't matter, I think, how much money you make. When you hear that, it sounds like it can be a lot of money, and it is if it becomes an expense.
Hey, pause real quick on that, Taz, because I don't want to scare anybody on this. If anybody wants to try it for 90 days, it'll be $500, 500 a month. The first month, 500 the second month, 500 the third month. And if we don't make enough to pay for, by the way, then after that, it goes to $997 a month for this elite, for the MAIA Elite program. This is the top program in MAIA. Goes to $997. And if we don't generate more than $12,000 more than you would have generated in the first 90 days, which would pay for your elite for an entire year, cancel it and we'll give you your money back. Your $1,500, the 5, 5, and 5. But I just want to reiterate that since you said $1,000 a month, we're not asking people to come in and pay $1,000 a month for 3 months and then do a money back guarantee. We'd cut it in half, and we got to do that for new people. It's like a trial, just to show you we can help you. So I just wanted to clarify.
And had that been the case, I think it would have been a lot easier, because then there would have been nothing for me to lose, right? I would have just jumped on board and it would have been an easy, no-brainer decision. But because I had done things in the past and just didn't get the results, and truth be told, and again, this may be a spoiler alert, but if you're going to take advantage of it, be ready. It's like someone that comes to take martial art class and they really don't want to learn martial arts. I thought it might be okay, but if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not the right attitude. You got to go in it to win it, and you got to know that you're going to be held accountable, and that there's things that you're going to have to do. We can't come through the phone and do it for you. We pretty much can set everything else up for you and have it made as easy as possible, right? But we can't do it for you. And I think, over time and not doing things and not executing. And I think you remember this. You talked about the kits earlier, and I'll bring this full circle, but you talk about the kits.
Yeah.
That was back in the day when you had an ad slick and you had to cut out the special you want to do and glue it on and then put it on the copier and run photocopies. And I literally would spend hours setting everything and making it look pretty. And I remember my mom came I was living at home. She came in the office in the bonus room above the garage. And she's like, "What are you doing? You've been working on this all day. Like, just freaking get it done, get it copied, and get it out there. Like, have it done." And I spent a lot of time being an 80%er on things. Like, I'd get it and then I wouldn't finish. And I get stuff going and I wouldn't finish. I get stuff going and I wouldn't finish. And that's what was different with MAIA, because there was always that last 10 or 20% that either A, didn't feel confident with, or B, didn't really understand the details of how to execute. So that's why I got stuck. And then fast forward, get to the event, and I'm like, I think I told you. I said, "You're it, man. This is the last stop. I'm either going to make it or I'm not." And then I finally committed, but it was after 2.5 hours, right, at the Super Show. And your voice, and you finally just said at the end, like, I know I can help you, and it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. So sign up and start implementing, executing. And that was the thing. It was the one-on-one accountability. It was being able to have someone to call or text whenever I wanted to get me unstuck. Because we have great ideas sometimes, and that something sounds like a great idea, and then we go to do it, we go to execute it, and we hit a snag. And a simple phone call or a simple text gets us unstuck, and that's what allowed me to finish that last 10 or 20%. And that, I believe, truly is the reason why we had the success, is because we just were able to implement and execute, and we weren't hitting as many sticking points, because we had, I was talking to you who'd been there before and done it before. So absolutely life-changing, man. Life-changing.
Mr. Manili, now listen, this is going to scare people too. Guys, when you're reading some of these comments, and Mr. Manili, that's a testament, right? But with Mr. Manili, what you don't understand is people are going to read that and say, okay, so they're going to get me enough money to pay for the program by cashing people out and getting paid in fulls. Listen, stop getting snippets, because I know that you're thinking this, because I get calls, I get people asking me. It's a money back guarantee, guys. It's a money back guarantee. If you get on the phone with us and we tell you to cash all your students out, I don't think you're going to stay after 90 days. I think you'll say, look, this is ridiculous. Yes, you made me enough money, but I have no more money coming in after this. And I think you'll quit, and I will give you your money back. If we don't increase your recurring billing and give you enough money, it's so funny because you guys, I don't know who's on here that's not ever tried MAIA Elite. I don't know who's tried MAIA Elite and knows deep down you didn't execute like you should have. But I do know that a lot of people make their own excuses in their mind. Some of you are sitting behind the camera saying, oh, okay, so 90 days, you're just, like I said, going to cash everyone out, or you're just going to tell me to run some kind of summer camp and get all this money in, or will you stop? I mean, and I say that because I take these calls every single week. What do you have to lose? Before you even sign up, get on a call with one of the team members and ask them, how are you going to help me? And I'm going to say, well, how do you want to be helped? What's your goal? What do you want? Here's how we're going to do it.
That's your first lesson, everybody. That's your first lesson. Ask questions.
Right. That's right. And then you can decide to sign up with no financial risk at all. And if it's not the best systems you've ever done in your school, where quality goes up, retention goes up, revenue goes up, recruitment goes up, then cancel the program and get all your money back. I'm just so passionate about helping you guys. That's all. I'm so passionate about helping this industry because this industry has given me everything that I have in my business life today. By the way, even in my personal life, with relationships, the people that I've gotten to know and meet, the martial arts industry has given me everything. And when you know you can help other people, when you know you can help them, when I get calls all the time of people that are struggling, I don't know how else to help. I mean, at this point, it's like, by the way, I just had somebody, I could show you the text message. Somebody called me last week. They were interested in MAIA Elite. What didn't I, was it you, Tess, that I talked to? Maybe it was Ernie. I talked to them for like 45 minutes and I said, I'm not signing you up for MAIA Elite. I got to give you some free advice and help you with this. When you go do this, call me back. I've done this a lot.
It's gotten soft. You've gotten soft.
I think so, man. I need to just pass them to Ernie. But my point is I'm not going to, they wanted to sign up. They said, I really want to do Elite. I said, I don't want you to do Elite because it's too much of a struggle for you to try to do Elite right now. We got to get your numbers up first. And then we'll talk about Elite if that's something you want to do. But let me help you. Here's what I think you should do right now. Yeah. And I told 45 minutes.
Can I give everybody a secret too, Metz? I mean, you didn't let him sign up for Elite, right? Even though he wanted to. Let me make this statement. As a consultant, we're not going to let you sign up if we don't think you're going to be a good fit. I just want to say that as well, because that's it's a lot of work doing a one-on-one. It's a lot more work if you're not coachable and if you're stuck in your ways. So that's why I say, if you're ready, not everyone's ready, man, but if you're ready, if you're tired of being the same spot you've been for year after year after year after year, and we go back and we say, well, it was the 2008 recession, it was COVID, it was this, it was that, and there's excuses for all of those years. Maybe it's not what's been happening. Maybe it's what we're not doing, right? And what we know can get us only so far. It's what we don't know that gets us to the next level. And that doesn't come from, us being so smart, it comes from being smart enough to listen to all of the clients cumulatively that all of the consultants at MAIA have had, and be able to learn from them as well. So it's pretty incredible. It's pretty, and it's a fun group. And listen, this stuff is not that difficult. It really isn't when it's broken down. And you said something earlier, Metz, about, and I think you said it this way, but just to be clear, group consulting can work. That's not what we're saying, right? It's like you hear when we say things about doing certain things in your school, right? Certain business systems. Well, we do it this way. Doesn't mean it can't work. It certainly can work, and you can get to a level of success. But our goal is to push you to the next level, right? And again, to maximize your success for your school. Just took on a new client. Had his first call last week, and I shared some info with you, and even called out some of it. I think last week on the Metzger Tassoul Show, we didn't mention any names, but I was talking about this. We were talking about people in general, and he had tuned in. So when I got on the call with him today, he said, "Thanks for kicking my ass," he said, and now he's taking action, right? So this is what happens when you have that accountability coach, and we push and we ask questions and maybe present things a little bit different way. And I had another client I was speaking with today, and he asked me, because he's been burned by some people in the industry, consultants, and he's like, "Is every consultant?" And I won't use the profanity that he used. I said, I don't think so. I said, I think every consultant has the means and the want to be able to help. I said, but I don't know what the agenda is. I said, that's the issue. I don't know what the agenda is. I said, I can tell you my agenda. I said, I can tell you why I consult, because of the success that I had as a client and watch my life change. I just want to give back, and I want to share. And that may sound corny to some people, but I mean, that really is just paying it forward. Because without MAIA, I wouldn't be where I'm at today either. So I can only speak for myself. I don't know, I think everybody's intent is to do well. But everyone has an agenda, right? Everyone's got an agenda. So just keep that in mind. But that's what we're here for, to coach. You said it, 3 things, right? Number 1 is to coach, teach you the things that you don't know. Number 2 is to be an educator, right? Or I should say coach is more of a kick in the ass, right? Educators teach you the things that you don't know. And sometimes you need a motivator. Sometimes you're down and need to be motivated. And so those are the 3 roles that we play. And, because I will tell you, the things that we have to teach you, if you can't learn it, some people can get this stuff down in 12 months. We go through it one cycle with them. They have it all down. But in 12 to 24 months, we're going to pretty much teach you everything there is to know about running a very successful martial arts school. But then why do people stay? And Metz said it early. It's about the coaching. It's about the accountability. It's about being the motivator. It's about the network. It's about all those things. So we'd love to have you guys try it out and see where it can take you. No risk.
Yeah. I mean, look, and I appreciate, by the way, Miss Stephanie Connor put up a link. Guys, you could sign up right now, and we're going to take care of you, right? But you need to private message us, Mike Metzger, Shane Tassoul, if you want to just jump on a call first or whatever, and hear how we can help. But again, finally, after 20 years, I got the green light, because I know what we can do to give you a money back guarantee if you want to level up your school. That's it. I mean, that's it. So we can help. Let's see, the person has to be ready to coach. Some find excuses to not do it, and that's why they're not successful. Guys, you don't unless you work with the industry in some way, you have no idea how our industry thinks. Like Miss Geely put up here, stop making excuses if you're afraid. But she said, because they will make you so much more money from what you paid. Well, like Mr. Manili, our industry will look at that and say, oh, that's it. They're all about the money. They're all about the money. Like, it is so delicate on what we say, because you guys are so fragile as an industry. When I say you guys, we are in that industry. And we are the ones who hear it. We're the ones who get these calls, right? And people, they want to, but you're just about the money. Oh, you just want to cash everyone out, or everyone thinks they know, right? Even the other consultants out there, they think they know how we run the systems. They don't, guys. If anybody is is talking about another consulting group that they've never been part of, they have zero credibility. Now, if somebody's been part of MAIA, they could say anything they want, right? And we'll have the dialogue. But people that have never been through the consulting program, never even been to a MAIA Elite event, this industry's got to wake up. I can't sit here and tell you about the other consultants and what they do and what they don't do and what they're telling you to do. I have no idea. How would I know that? I mean, I don't know that because I have a lot of clients that have come from other consulting companies, just like I'm sure some of our clients maybe went to them. But I can't go by that. I'd have to be there myself, right? And then I could tell you, yeah, hey, here's what they teach, here's what they do. But I love it when there's other industries, other consulting industries out there, consulting, not industries, groups that will talk about what other, I mean, I really don't care what they do. I told you, I think they're in it for the good, but I don't care what they do. I can only tell you what we do. And give us a shot to help you out if you want help. I do believe, maybe not a recession, but it's very possible. But I do believe that money's going to get tight for people. I believe that it's going to be a little harder running your martial arts school come quarter 3, 4. You know, I believe into quarter 4, I believe it's going to get a little tougher as far as getting those new students and generating the revenue and keeping students when the gas prices are. I think it's going to get tougher. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? And do you have a plan? Because we do. I mean, Tass, you were here. How many of the schools that we work with?
I know. Hold on. Are you going to say closed during COVID?
Right.
Because I literally just had this conversation with somebody earlier. I mean, the answer is 0.
Thank you, Mr. Fry. Yeah, the answer is 0.
Yeah. Yep.
The answer is 0. And by the way,
someone had asked me the question: do you see anybody that's, you know, closing their school or selling their school because times are getting tough? And I said no. As a matter of fact, I said during COVID, and I explained the same exact thing. So I knew where you're going with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, and there's a lot of people that are on here right now. They didn't close either. They could sit here and say we didn't close, but we thrived. I mean, like when you put it in comparison. So my point in this is, if we got through COVID when you couldn't even step foot in your school, and we have clients in California, by the way, we have clients in Canada. I mean, there were some struggles in Canada. Canada was like, were there tanks outside the schools in Canada, or what was going on there in Canada?
Yeah,
I mean, it was strict. It was tough, right? And that was tough. But, you know, specifically one of the people that had a real rough go, they couldn't even get in there. How are they doing now?
They're killing it.
Killing it.
Yep.
Killing it. I mean, and we got through it. And by the way, that was a lot of one-on-one calls. It was a lot of being there in their corner. We're in this together. We're going to get through it. Okay. We're going to get through it. And here's some things we could try to do to get through it. But so we're not afraid of a little recession, you know?
That's right. That's right. I'm going to go raise my rates so I can fill my boat with gas this summer. So I appreciate the insight.
Yeah, just go and do it right now. Just make an announcement tonight. Just let everyone know rates are going up. Let me know how that goes. Let us know next week how that goes.
Only joking, everybody. Only joking.
Hey, you know, guys, again, I appreciate the comments. And of course, if you're part of MAIA, of course, you're going to support MAIA. Just like anybody that's part of another group will support another group. You know what I love about all you guys, though? I think the worst thing on here is Mr. Fry saying, I've been a part of a few over the years, but MAIA is the best and most professional. They lead by example. That's the biggest knock you might hear on other consulting groups.
Right.
Unlike some other consulting groups where their clients will come out and start bashing MAIA. MAIA is this, MAIA is that. And what they don't understand is we sit and we laugh at these comments because I'll say, who is this person? When were they in the program? When did they come to a seminar? How do they know so much? I've never heard of this person in my life. We don't bash other people. And if we do,
it's off camera.
To it. What's that?
It's off camera.
Right. If we do, we talk about you behind the scenes. We don't do that publicly. I mean, we make fun of all of you guys, you know, when the camera's off. But anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. Pass it on. If you know people in the industry, at this point, there's nothing to lose, right? We can help. So if you know someone in the industry that you're friends with that you feel can do better or want to do better, tell them to get in touch with MAIA. There's no risk. And if they are willing to try it, they can jump on. If they don't like the philosophies before they even sign up, they don't have to jump on.
Right.
So anyway, Tass, it's almost the weekend, buddy.
I know. Time goes by so fast.
You doing anything fun?
No. Gonna go up north which up north for us is about an hour away, and help my mom with a couple things up there, and maybe get some sun. The sunshine, the summer just hit here, so it's finally nice.
I'm looking at myself in this camera, and I'm thinking I got maybe too much sun.
Yeah. Well, you don't look red.
No, I'm not red. Hey, you want to boost up people on this? You want to get more people? Hey guys, put in the comments who saw the new Top Gun movie. Who saw Maverick? Now we'll start getting people to watch. Let's talk about Maverick.
I was talking with Matt yesterday, and he was going to go see it down by you, Arroyo. And he got his ticket, went to the theater. I was doing a consulting call with him on a couple things. He's like, I said, all right, go watch your movie. I said, call me when you're done. Let me know how it goes. He texted me like 5 minutes. I guess it's not meant to be. The air conditioning is out, so they had to close the theater. So we never got a chance to watch it. I'm like, oh man, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Did anybody watch Maverick? Did anyone see the movie yet? Because I highly recommend. I mean, it's probably one of the best movies I've seen in a long time.
I actually used that as an example the other day when someone was talking, like, I haven't done the board breaking thing for an intro. Do I need to do it? I said, no, you don't need to do it, right? If you want to do it. But do you know why we break the board, right? In the intro. And of course, the answer was, well, to build emotion. I said, well, you can go watch Top Gun Maverick and see how emotional you get with that movie. If you can create emotion like that in your school, I'm sure you'll sign up everybody.
Yeah. You're exactly right. Exactly. There you go. And Miss Ramos, you haven't seen the first one. Miss Ramos, you were effective out of the elite program.
That's right.
Until you see the first one and watch the second one. What's going on here? Hey, yeah, Mr. Fry, 80s feel coming back. Maverick for the win. Hey, I hope the industry learned something from that movie, right? Not a lot of CGI, if any. No CGI, all authentic. Great film work. Real emotion, you know what I mean? I mean, it was
inspirational. Yeah, leader quality, like just so much stuff. Yeah.
By the way, you know what else that teaches you? It came out as gas prices are astronomical, and it's like it's Tom Cruise's biggest movie ever. When you have a good product, it doesn't matter. You have to have a great product or a great service. And how do you know you have a great service? You don't know unless you keep track of your stats. Don't poll the people that are still with you. Poll the people that left you and ask them why.
Yep.
And then look at your attrition rate. That'll tell you if you have a great service or not. So anyway. All right. Oh, they didn't have it in Mexico. Top Gun.
Oh, Ramos.
Oh, man.
Too funny.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Miss Ramos. And we'll do good chat. Hope to see some of you guys reach out. Hope to see you guys at the Super Show. Make sure you come out to the Super Show next month. Vegas, Caesars Forum. That's going to be fun. And please come up and just say hello.
Yeah. You
can even say, we hate you guys. That's fine.
Sure. But just make sure you say hi. We said this one other time, right? Like, we can't see you. You guys can see us. So just make sure you come up to us and say hello.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I was walking down the halls. There's a lot of people at the Super Show, and I'm just walking because I got to get to the booth. And you were walking behind me, and you heard somebody, after I walked by, somebody says, oh, I guess he's too good to say hi. Well, I'd like to know how many of you walk down the street saying hi to everybody. I I mean, I don't know all of you. I'm just walking to my booth. I don't say, hi, how are you? Hey, how are you? Hi, 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 hi. I mean, it's just, I mean, I'd love for people to come and
we'll try that this year. We'll try that this year. We'll just walk down.
Because I'm going to say hi to somebody that's not even with the show, and they're going to be like, hi. You know what I mean? So anyway.
Good times.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Good seeing you. Appreciate everybody. If you guys have any questions, let us know.
Let us know. Thanks again, guys. See you next week.